Good morning. Welcome to Melissa Chambers Consulting Wednesday Words of Wisdom. I hope everyone has had a great week, and it's hump day, so we're almost to the weekend again. We are going to be talking today about home and what that means. And so I want you to just think of the word home for a minute. And, you might think of a house. You might think of a few houses. But we always say, that there's that saying, about a house being a home. And what makes a house a home? A house is the structure. A house is the four walls. People, friends, family, memories, doing things together. And so when we have a loved one living with some sort of dementia, and they say, I want to go home, we have to stop and think about what that could mean for a second, okay? Because sometimes they're at home. They're in their house that they've lived in for 40 years. And in their minds, they might be talking about the house that they grew up in. They might not recognize that this might be talking about, a house when, maybe they first got married. They may be talking about a different structure, or they could be talking about love, people, families. And that's what I believe most oftentimes is what they're talking about. Again, if we think of the word home, it could be meals that our mom cooked us, or our dad, or our husband or wife, or our significant other. It could be certain smells of the food cooking, or sound of music playing, or sound of, someone watching news on the television. But it all goes back to people. It all goes back to people. It's not about the TV. It's not about a pan that they're cooking food in. It all goes back to the people. So again, home means love. It means memories. It means family and friends. And so a lot of times we might have a loved one living with some sort of dementia that is living in a senior living community of some sort. Maybe they just moved to a senior living, maybe to assisted living or memory care, and they're saying, I want to go home. And our first reaction is, well, I want to take them home then. I'm going to take them home. Something must have happened. They must not be getting taken care of, right? We always jump to sort of those thoughts because we feel bad that we moved them. We feel guilty that we moved them. We feel like we failed. And we didn't. I'm here to tell you that we didn't fail. We didn't do anything wrong by moving them. We probably did something good for them in their best interest. But we do feel those feelings. And so when our loved one is living in a senior living community and they're saying they want to go home, our reaction is we better take them home. And what they probably are meaning is that they want to be with you. They want to be with their loved ones. They have the need for, love, for a hug, for a kiss. Maybe they just want to be reassured that you're there and that everything's okay. And so it's very hard on the caregiver, as always. It's very hard on the caregiver because, again, we have to sort of be a detective. We have to sort of figure out, are they talking about a house, a structure, four walls, or are they talking about us? We have to be a detective. We have to think of all of these different things. And we also have to be there to reassure them and to give them that love and to give them that hug or rub their back or, help to calm them down. And we also have to be the strong one that doesn't bring them home because, again, most oftentimes they're not talking about a structure. They're not talking about a house. They're talking about the feeling of being home. And so, you know, again, I've said this before, but it's very important to focus on the feelings, their feelings. And we have to, again, be a detective to try to figure out what they're feeling. But if someone's asking for home, just try to think about, if you wanted to go home, why do you want to go home? What are you looking for when you go home? What are you looking for? Are you looking for a hug from your mom or a hug from your spouse? Are you looking for just some quiet? You just want to be still and you just want to be quiet. Are you looking for a home-cooked meal because you're having a really bad day, or maybe you don't feel good, etc.? I could go on and on. So again, when they're saying they want to go home, you know, is it because they just want some quiet also, and maybe they're too overstimulated? Is it because they're just having a bad day? You know, just because they have dementia of some sort does not mean that they can't have a bad day. They're a normal human being. They just happen to have a diagnosis. But just like we can have a bad day, they can have a bad day. Maybe they just want to go home to get a hug from their loved one. Maybe they're not feeling well, and maybe they want to go home for some home cooked food. You know, maybe, you know, I mean, again, I could go on, and I want to sort of end this because I've probably been talking for a really long time. But again, the point is, just because your loved one says they want to go home, it's not necessarily a structure that they're talking about. Sometimes your loved one could be home and they are saying they want to go home. That means they need something. They have a need that's not being met. They have a need. So we have to try to figure that out. If they're in a senior living community, especially if they've just moved, don't automatically think that they're talking about wanting to go home just because they're there, just because they don't like it, or just because someone has hurt them or done something wrong to them. Because chances are, that could be, but chances are it's not that at all. Chances are what they're talking about is home, the feeling of home. And so we have to do the best to try to put our detective hats on and figure out what they need, and then try to meet their need. And again, the best way to do that is maybe try to put yourself in their shoes and try to figure out what they're feeling, or what they need to feel, or the emotion that they're going through, or if they are sick, you know, what's going on with them, so we can try to make them better. So I hope that made sense. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to contact me. It can be very hard, especially if you've just moved your loved one. It can be very hard to not want to take them home, but taking them home is definitely not always a good thing, because it could be hard to get them back. You know, it could be not helpful for them acclimating to the community that they just moved to. So, you know, you could be doing more harm than good by taking them home. So definitely, again, if you have any questions about it, please don't hesitate to contact me, melissachambersconsulting.com. There's a contact us page, and then also up above on this Facebook page, you can find the email, and our phone number. You can call, text, email, whatever works best for you. The last thing I want to say is, on Facebook, their policies changed a little bit. So most of the videos that I have done over the last almost 6 years, it breaks my heart, but most of them are gone. We do have a page on YouTube now where I'm trying to transfer all of these videos to, so that you can go back and rewatch them. So we are on YouTube as well, and I will post in the next, week or so. I'll post the link to that if you would like to, or you can just search it. But if you want to go back and look at some videos, I was able to save some of them. So, okay. I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.